What if I told you that a 2,000-year-old philosophy could silence your anxiety in minutes? Stoic warriors, Roman emperors, and even modern psychologists swear by these 7 quotes, not just to cope, but to dominate stress. And the 5th one? It's a game changer. But first, why does anxiety trick us into fearing the wrong things? Let's expose the truth. Quote 1. So let's start with the first weapon against anxiety, straight from Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled Rome through war and plague. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Let's break this down. Anxiety tricks us into obsessing over things we can't control. Other people's opinions, flight delays, the past. But Marcus is ruthless here. Your mind is your kingdom, not the weather, not your boss's mood, your thoughts. Imagine you're about to give a presentation. Your hands sweat, your stomach knots. Why? Because your brain's screaming, what if they laugh? What if I blank? Here's the Stoic move. Ask one question: is this in my control? The audience's reaction, not yours. Your preparation, 100% yours. Marcus didn't hope barbarians wouldn't attack. He trained his soldiers. Shift from what if to what's mine to fix. When did you last stress over something outside your control? Comment below. I'll reply with a Stoic reframe. The control drill, actionable framework, simple steps. Try this today. Write down 3 things stressing you. Circle what's truly yours to change. Example: my friend hasn't texted back. Can't control. I can send a follow-up. Your move. Stoics call this the dichotomy of control, a fancy term for stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable. Real-world proof, historical context. When Epictetus was enslaved, his master broke his leg. His response: that's your problem. Why? Because his mind remained free. Extreme? Maybe. But that's the point. Anxiety loses power when you focus on your agency. 2024 application, fresh angle. Think social media anxiety. You can't control how many likes you get, who views your story. You can control posting for yourself, not validation. Turning off notifications, small shift, massive peace. What's one thing you'll stop trying to control this week? Type it. It's your first step to Stoic calm. Quote 2, Seneca. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Ever had this happen? You send a text, no reply. Minutes pass. Your brain starts scripting their silent rage. They're ignoring me. I messed up. They hate me. Then ding. Sorry, was in a meeting. That's Seneca's point. Your anxiety lied. You just suffered for 20 minutes over nothing. Seneca wasn't just wise. He lived this. Exiled to a barren island, accused of crimes he didn't commit. And yet he wrote, "We are often more frightened than hurt." Think about that. How much of your stress is real pain versus imagined disaster? Here's how to use this today. When your brain spins a worst-case scenario, ask, is this true or just my fear writing fiction? Example: what if I bomb the presentation versus have I ever actually bombed one before? Spoiler, your track record's probably better than your anxiety admits. When did your imagination torture you, only for reality to be totally fine? Comment below. Let's laugh at anxiety's bad storytelling together. Quote 3. The obstacle is the way. Ryan Holiday. You know that feeling when life slams the door in your face? Rejection, failure, a panic attack out of nowhere. Your first thought? Why is this happening to me? But Stoics flip the script. Their answer: this is happening for me. And the third quote is the key. The obstacle is the way. Imagine this. You're about to give a big presentation and your anxiety spikes. Heart racing, palms sweating. Most people run or fight it. But what if that panic was actually your body's way of saying, hey, this matters? Instead of resisting, you lean in. You take one deep breath and think, this discomfort is my training. That's the obstacle becoming the way. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome during a plague. Epictetus was crippled by his master. They didn't just get through suffering, they used it. Every setback was a setup. Your anxiety, it's not a wall, it's the ladder. So here's my challenge to you. What's one thing you're avoiding right now because it feels too hard? What if you attacked it because it scares you? Comment below. I'll reply with a Stoic hack to try today. Quote 4. Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the thread of destiny. Marcus Aurelius. Imagine this. You're at the airport. Your flight's cancelled. No hotels left. Your phone's at 5%. And your brain starts screaming, this ruins everything. Now, rewind. What if I told you this exact moment could be the best thing that ever happened to you? Marcus Aurelius wrote this quote while leading Rome through war, plague, and betrayal. Not exactly a deep breaths and yoga kind of life. But he knew something we forget. Fighting reality creates anxiety. Accepting it, that's where your power starts. 1. Why this quote destroys anxiety. A friend of mine missed his dream job interview because of a train strike. Devastated, right? But that disaster forced him to take a freelance gig, which turned into a business making triple the salary. Here's the Stoic twist. The train strike wasn't the problem. His resistance to it was. Anxiety loves to whisper, this shouldn't be happening. But Stoics ask, who said life should go your way? Traffic, rejection, delays, they're not personal. They're just threads in the fabric. And pulling at threads, that's what leaves you frayed. Ever noticed how the things you fought hardest against, breakups, job losses, often led to something better? Comment 1, disaster that secretly helped you. The 3-step Stoic acceptance drill. Here's how to use this quote when anxiety hits. Step 1, name the enemy. Say it out loud. My flight got cancelled. Not my life is ruined. Just facts. Anxiety shrinks when you stop dramatizing. Step 2, ask the Stoic question. Is this actually bad or just not what I wanted? Most problems are just Plan A fanatics grieving Plan B. Step 3, hunt the hidden gift. Stuck at the airport? Maybe you'll read that book, meet someone, or finally stop rushing. Destiny's weaving. You're just stuck staring at the knot. Last week, my Wi-Fi died before a big meeting. Cue panic? Nope. I used the delay to rehearse and nailed the presentation. The disaster was the prep time I'd skipped. 3. When acceptance feels impossible, raw tone, share a failure. I'm not Zen 24/7. When my dad got sick, acceptance felt like surrender. But here's what Marcus really meant. Acceptance isn't liking what happens. It's stopping the second arrow, the suffering you add by screaming, why me? Anxiety is like shaking a snow globe. Clarity comes only when you set it down. That's acceptance, not, this is great, but this is, now how do I move? What's one thing you're fighting right now that you might need to set down? Quote 5, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Epictetus. Let's talk about the quote that changes everything. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of history's wisest teachers, drops this bomb. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Sounds simple, right? But here's why most people never use it. The lie anxiety tells you. Anxiety whispers, this situation is destroying you. But Epictetus screams back, no, it's your thought about the situation that's crushing you. Let me prove it. Imagine your best friend cancels plans last minute. Anxiety's script? They hate me. I'm alone. No one cares. But Stoicism. They saved me time. Now I can read, call my mom, or finally try that recipe. Same event. 2 reactions. One creates suffering, the other ends it. When was the last time you assumed the worst, and it wasn't even true? Why your brain betrays you, and how to fix it. Science-backed, but simple. Your brain's wired to overreact, thanks to evolution. Back in caveman days, mistaking a stick for a snake kept you alive. But now, it makes you panic over texts left on read. Stoicism's fix? Pause. Question. Choose. Pause. When stress hits, freeze. Literally say, I'm in the gap. That split second between event and reaction, that's your power. Question. Ask it, is this actually a threat, or just my ancient brain misfiring? Choose. Pick the useful thought. Example. My boss emailed, we need to talk. Anxiety says, I'm fired. Stoicism says, or, it's about the project. I'll prepare questions. Relatable, fumble. Humanizing. I used to spiral for hours over emails. Then I tried this. First time, failed. Second, less panic. Now, I laugh at my old self. Progress, not perfection. Actionable tool, easy to remember. Next time anxiety strikes, steal this. Snap your fingers or click your tongue and say, reaction, my choice. Physical interrupt plus mental reminder equals breaking the panic loop. Why it works. Science plus story. A Navy SEAL taught me this. In training, they're deliberately sleep-deprived, freezing, stressed, to practice choosing calm. His line, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training. What's one situation this week where you'll test this? When it feels impossible, Stoic secret, addressing doubt, no toxic positivity. But what if it's really bad? Stoics expect that. Seneca lost his son, was exiled, and still wrote, the bravest sight, a man choosing his response to hell. Modern example, raw honesty. A viewer once DM'd me, my dad died. How is reacting differently gonna help? I said, it won't stop the pain, but it will decide if pain defines you or teaches you. He later replied, I started writing him letters instead of drinking. Still hurts, but now it means something. For 24 hours, wear this mantra. Events are neutral, my reaction paints them. Every time you feel anxious, label it, my brush, my canvas. Then, comment one win, even tiny. Got cut off in traffic, didn't scream. We'll celebrate you. Quote 6 Lolierma, you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself. Marcus Aurelius. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually got hurt? By something outside of you. Not physically, mentally. That rude comment, that rejection, that news headline that ruined your day. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The pain wasn't in the event. It was in how you processed it. And Marcus Aurelius, he figured this out 2,000 years ago. Imagine this. 2 people lose their jobs on the same day. One spirals, I'm a failure, I'll never recover. The other thinks, this hurts, but now I can pivot. Same event, wildly different suffering. Why? Because anxiety doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from the story you tell yourself about it. Marcus isn't saying, just be positive. He's saying, you're the judge. That thing you're stressing over, it's neutral until you label it a disaster. Social media envy. It's just pixels until you decide they have it better. Even physical pain. Studies show your interpretation. This is unbearable versus this will pass. Changes how much it actually hurts. Try this now. Name one external thing stressing you. Got it? Now ask, did this hurt me? Or did my thoughts about it? Example, my friend didn't text back. Neutral fact. Your brain added, they hate me. See the difference? That gap. That's where your power is. Here's where people get stuck. But my anxiety feels real. Of course it does. Your brain's job is to protect you, even from imaginary threats. But what if you could thank your anxiety? Hey, I know you're trying to help. Then override it, like muting a paranoid advisor. Epictetus, born a slave, was beaten so badly his leg was permanently broken. His response: if someone tries to insult you and you don't feel insulted, the insult fails. He couldn't control his chains, but his mind, unshakable. That's Stoicism. Let the world do its worst. Your peace is non-negotiable. Think about cancel culture. Someone's always offended. But the people who thrive, they don't gaslight themselves into agony over every opinion. They ask, is this useful to me? If not, delete, block, move on. No drama, just unplugging the pain. So here's your challenge today. For the next 24 hours, catch yourself blaming externals. Traffic made me angry. My boss made me stressed. Then pause and choose a new judgment. Traffic is traffic. I control my breath, my podcast, my patience. Tiny shift, massive power. And the wild part? This quote connects to the next one. Because once you master judgment, you'll see obstacles as fuel. But more on that soon. For now, where can you revoke your pain today? Quote 7. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. How much time do we waste asking, am I good enough? Do people like me? What if I fail? Here's the hard truth. Anxiety loves turning us into philosophers of self-doubt. We analyze instead of act. Marcus Aurelius? He didn't sit around wondering if he was a good emperor. He ruled. He didn't journal about whether he was brave. He faced wars, plagues, and betrayal while writing those words. Stoicism's secret weapon: action kills anxiety. When we read this quote, hits different. Anxiety tricks us into thinking we need permission to be strong. I'll be confident when I lose weight. I'll speak up when I'm smarter. Nope. Marcus is calling BS. You don't debate courage. You do it. Ever met someone who just decided to own a room? That's Stoicism in real life. No magic, no perfect moment. Just a choice. When was the last time you waited to feel ready before doing something scary? 2. Real-world example. The fake it till you make it. Lie, a friend of mine agonized for months about starting a business. What if I look stupid? Then she read this quote. Instead of researching more, she posted one ugly, imperfect reel. Guess what? 10 likes. But that reel proved something critical. Anxiety shrinks when you move. Marcus didn't say, become perfect. He said, be right now. Your brain is a stubborn donkey. It won't believe you're capable until you show it. Action isn't just the result of confidence. It's the creator of it. What's one tiny thing you've overthought that you could do in 5 minutes today? 3. The anxiety action loop. Anxiety loves a vacuum. Sit still. Your brain invents disasters, but move. It's forced to deal with reality. Think of a dog barking at shadows. Open the door, and it shuts up. Your anxiety is that dog. Action is the door. Stoic drill. Practical steps. Try this. Next time you're spiraling, ask, what's the smallest action I can take? Will this matter in 5 years? What would I do if I weren't afraid? Then move. Not tomorrow. Now. Here, short to keep energy high before the climax. 4. Why this works for modern anxiety. Social media made us professional self-inspectors. We curate, compare, critique, but rarely create. Marcus's quote is a chainsaw to that cycle. Goodness isn't a filtered photo. It's showing up unpolished. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's tweeting the tweet, asking for the raise, or dancing badly at the wedding while terrified. Who's someone you admire because they do instead of overthink? Tag them below. Anxiety will always argue. Wait, prepare more. What if? Marcus's reply, be. Not eventually, today, not flawlessly, messily. Your existence is proof you're built for this. Now go use it. What's the first be you're committing to after this video? Type it. We're reading. So here's the truth. Your anxiety? It's not you. It's just a signal, a flashing light saying, hey, something feels uncertain. But the Stoics? They taught us something radical. You get to decide what that signal means. Does it mean run away? Or does it mean get ready? These 7 quotes survived wars, betrayals, and centuries because they work. They're not magic. They're tools. And just like a sword, they're useless unless you pick them up. So tell me, which quote hit you hardest? Was it Marcus Aurelius reminding you that pain comes from your judgment, not the world? Or Epictetus saying no one can hurt you without your permission? Drop it in the comments. We'll reply with a personalized tip to make it stick. And if you're tired of anxiety stealing your sleep, your focus, your peace, hit next right now. We're breaking down 3 Stoic rituals to erase anxiety before bed. No meditation apps, no expensive therapy. Just ancient wisdom that's been battle-tested by millions. But first, tag one person who needs these quotes today, because the best way to master Stoicism, teach it. Remember, you've survived every bad day so far. And now, you've got the tools to do more than survive, to thrive. See you in the comments.